Thompson Aquatic Center here in Wilmer. This is my first year on the LYO board, and I am one of the photographers and social media coordinators for the board. So smile if you see me walking around with my camera. Our theme verse reads, built up and rooted in Christ, strengthened in the faith that you were taught, and overflowing in thankfulness. Unfortunately, this isn't a funny story, and I won't make you laugh. But hopefully, I will tell you an inspiring story and give you hope. Everyone remember the great year 2016? No. The one that everyone seemed to hate? Yeah, you know it. Well, I definitely did not enjoy 2016. In early June of that year, my aunt was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. My Aunt Abby was also my godmother. Here's a little background information on Abby. She had 2 kids and was a loving wife. Abby also was the middle child between my dad and my Aunt Jenny. Abby had a very strong faith, and she was a Sunday school teacher and served on her church council. After I was told about her diagnosis, I made a blanket for her and gave her a card that had Jeremiah verse 29:11 written inside. This verse says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." At the time, I was not aware that she had stage 4 cancer because she did not want people to think of her cancer as a death sentence. From July until the beginning of October, she was in and out of the hospital due to chemo side effects and battling cancer in general. During that time, she never lost her faith. Although she may have been physically weak, her faith did not fall. If anything, she built a stronger faith during this time. As her goddaughter, I was so confused on why this could happen to a healthy person who regularly worshiped. I was frustrated and angry with God. I prayed every night, but it felt like I wasn't being heard. I got confirmed that October, and I was worried all summer leading up to it that I wouldn't have my godmother standing next to me. Luckily, I had nothing to worry about because she was healthy and able to come to my confirmation. It was amazing that she was so healthy and able to come because with the health issues coming up, it was a miracle that she was even there. My confirmation day was the last time I saw her healthy and not in pain. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, she went into the hospital. She rushed chemo so she would be able to be with us for Thanksgiving dinner, but unfortunately, she had to miss out. She stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, but it seemed like it was 2 months, if not even 2 years. I came home after a late dance practice one day, and I was told that Abby was able to go home. At first, this was wonderful news. Unfortunately, my happiness was interrupted with a but in the sentence. My parents told me and my sister that there is nothing else the doctors could medically do to beat this cancer. Her body stopped accepting fluids and food. I didn't realize that she reached the point of no return until my parents said that this would be a good time to meet with our pastor. It was a tough decision, but it was time for Abby to go into hospice care. I was angry with God. When I was alone, I yelled at God, asking why. I yelled at God. I couldn't understand why such terrible things could happen to such wonderful people. I couldn't understand how Abby never questioned God for allowing her to go through so much pain. I just couldn't understand. I still prayed every night. I still went to church. I still did everything a Christian does, but I did it out of hatred. I was angry. When I went to visit Abby to exchange our last goodbyes, I couldn't say goodbye. I remember giving her one last hug and saying see you later before I walked out of her room. She told us she wasn't afraid. She was strong and had faith in her God. Her faith gave me faith. She was rooted. Abby passed away December 23rd, early in the morning at the age of 40. I was supposed to go to Iowa that day. I was getting ready when I heard my dad's phone ring. Immediately, I knew what it was, but I didn't want to believe it. I remember staring at myself in the mirror, telling myself that it's okay. It's not what I thought it was, and trying to calm myself down. When my parents called me and my sister out of our rooms, we didn't even talk. We knew what was going to be said. Abby visited me that night in my dreams. In that dream, we pretty much had a going away party for her, where my whole family got together. In that dream, she was strong enough to walk the way she wanted to be remembered. Abby wanted to be remembered as strong. There are 3 major things that stick out to me in Abby's story that helps keep my faith. One event is my confirmation. It's amazing that she was so healthy and strong enough to go. She was horribly sick all summer, and things turned for the worse shortly after my confirmation. At the time, I didn't realize how amazing it was, but others did. My grandma said that she must have willed herself to be healthy enough and that she must have prayed on it, because not long afterwards is when things got bad. I am incredibly glad that I got to see her one last time, healthy. Before Abby passed, she wrote down a few of her favorite Bible verses. While looking through the verses and reading them, I noticed a familiar one, Jeremiah 29:11, my favorite verse. But it's the one that I also gave to her. After reading it, I knew that everything would be okay. The most amazing story by far is what happened the night before she died. Abby was very weak and was pretty much already gone. Her pastor came to visit her that night, and before he left, he started singing Amazing Grace. At that moment, Abby perked up and sang Amazing Grace word for word. That final moment of strength gave me strength. She was praising God even when she was too weak to open her eyes. That moment truly was a work of God. Even though I love and miss my Aunt Abby, I am thankful that she is no longer in pain. Somehow, through all of this, Abby stayed rooted. She never questioned her God, and she had faith in him. During this time, my roots were in need of water and nutrients. I questioned my God, and I was angry with him, but I never lost my faith. This past Wednesday at my school, a student, Makenya Agi, lost her life to cancer. Please keep Makenya, her friends, family, and both students in your thoughts and prayers. If you, a friend, family member, or loved one is going through a tough time, know that God is always with you and he will not abandon you. Sometimes he works in ways you don't understand and never will understand. If God brings you to it, he will bring you through it. I'm still learning how to cope with her death today, almost a year after Abby died. The reality is, you will grieve forever. You will not get over the death of a loved one, but you will learn to live with it. At the time, it felt like I had died too, but they just forgot to bury me, and sometimes it still feels that way. You will learn how to heal and rebuild yourself around the loss that you have suffered, and God will help you through it. If any of you need someone to talk to, I am here. DM me on Instagram, find me on Snapchat, stop me in the halls tonight, whatever and wherever, I will listen to you. I will be here for you. You can talk to me. Even if I don't know you, say hi and I'll talk to you. Before I leave you, I wanted to read you Jeremiah 29:11 one last time to hopefully give you the strength and courage you might need. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future.